Are credit ratings the key to success for Romanian financial markets? Obviously, a question we can answer with a clear yes. No, I think Scope, as Europe's largest credit rating agency, has value proposal for helping to build out the Romanian financial markets, and I want to explain to you why we think that is. So if we go to the next slide. I don't know how much you know about Scope yet. Scope is Europe's largest rating agency. We're actually now close to 300 people. We have a full pan-European build-out. We have the same registrations as, let's say, our main competitors, the American credit rating agencies, with namely S&P, Moody's, and Fitch. So there's nothing that keeps us apart in terms of the recognition in general for our ratings and our other work. We're serving over 400 institutional investors. That's now actually gone up to 55 trillion of asset under management, and we have applied for the registration to the ECB for the ECAF status about 2 months ago. If we can go to the next slide, please. Yes, Scope basically exists since 2002, and historically we have grown from looking into the real estate market and rating funds, investment funds, to a full credit rating agency. So we have not hundreds of years of tradition like our American or the American rating agencies, which obviously has its good and its bad. And I think the goods of this situation is that we had time to newly build rating methodologies and transparent processes, which in our opinion are the key for basically any institutional investors or issuers to use our product. So we have a very rigorous, holistic product strategy, which is also 100% transparent. There is no magic to it. So we operate on 3 main products, which is credit, funds, and ESG. We always start basically at a lower level, like a pyramid. We look at the data, then we do, let's say, low quality assessments. Then we do the ratings, which obviously have all the regulatory benefits. And in the end, we issue analytical research on these names or on these issues. We think that our consistent analytical approach, like I said, which makes it very easier for issues and or investors to follow, makes us quite unique within the rating agency. Here again, just historically, fund analysis started in 2000, really in 2002, where we have 21 analysts, ESG analysis, and credit analysis. This just basically describe our 3 pillars. So what makes us different? What is our value proposition? Which also I think is very important for Romania. We do not have a very rigorous approach in terms of that we set certain barriers to the size of a company. Size for us is no credit strength. We know that some of our competitors says if you don't have a certain amount of turnover, you cannot reach a certain rating. That doesn't apply to us. We are very agnostic. So we're very happy and open to look at the specifics of a company and to look at the specifics of the market, the country, the strategy that a corporate is active in. This means also that we do not apply sovereign caps. So if a company, in our opinion, has a better credit strength than a country, we believe there is no reason why we should just apply a mechanistic credit cap. We have very strong, what we've done historically, since, like I said, we have not been around for hundreds of years. We have built up very successfully our niche markets, because obviously the name recognition in the larger markets for the large American rating agencies has superseded us in the past, and basically which also forced us, but also we're very happy to basically develop new markets, which we have done in Hungary, for example, where we've been extremely successful, where we've been also in the Nordics. Maybe we can go to the next. This just shows how many credit ratings we apply at the moment. We also expand, for example, we just expanded into Armenia. You see here the Caspian and Black Sea. We are active, and also we are doing our first rating in Romania at the moment, but this is a private, so we cannot disclose who this is for, but we're very excited to be rating our first corporate in Romania. What is our market share? Where have we come from? We have obviously come a long way, but it actually shows you that we have been catching up, and this basically shows how our market share has developed in Europe. And for example, in sovereign and public finance, we are already behind S&P. We're in front of Fitch and Moody's. And in corporate non-financial, which is corporates, we're basically ahead of Fitch, behind S&P and Moody's. And we are catching up very fast. We are investing heavily in the infrastructure. And we have been very successful to increase our coverage in the market, which is obviously very important for investors, because they really value a rating agency by the amount of coverage that can be provided on their investment portfolio. Go to the next slide, please. So what have we actually done in Hungary, for example, right? I mean, you could argue this is a neighboring country. Obviously, the central bank has established a purchase program. But what happened is that basically we have a market share in Hungary of about 90 to 95%. We have 90 public, or like 80 public ratings, 90 ratings in total outstanding, which basically enabled us, in my point of view, to kind of provide a rating to the whole, let's say, universe of Hungarian corporates, which to a certain extent you can argue, obviously on a smaller scale, mirrors the Romanian market. So I think we have a very strong understanding of what it means to rate in corporates which are basically operating in a local market, and also operating in a country to a certain extent which has the same backdrops as Romania. What we also have done is we have provided SPOs. That is also, like I said, ESG is another important pillar for us. We also have promoted SPOs on the issues that were issued from Romanian corporates. The Hungarian Central Bank is committed to keep the dynamics. Obviously, the first purchase program has now run off, and there are talks in the market that this could be replaced, or there could be a new purchase program with a green finance focus. And we are very well placed to also accommodate this purchase program if it ever comes, or if it emerges. What we've done as well in 2017 for the EIB, we've been awarded a rating contract where we on a structured product initiative, we rate various SME transactions, and we have done Spain, Italy, Romania, and in 2020 we rated 1.4 billion of Romanian SME debt. And if you go to the next page, you actually see also there's just a case study of one tranche. That is a smaller tranche, and which was basically originated by 9 Romanian banks. So there also we looked heavily into the Romanian market. I think we have a strong understanding what it means to operate in the Romanian market. And also we have a local language capability. So we have Romanian credit analysts, which we think can obviously very well accommodate needs by Romanian companies. This is just an example where we provided some public SPOs in Hungary, which also have some printouts. Also, if you're interested, I can provide you with information, more information about these products. All this information are also publicly available on our website. If you go to next. Just like I touched earlier, the regulatory status, we have exactly the same mapping as our American competitors. So there is no difference in our mapping. And if an investor accepts us as ECAI, it has the same regulatory benefit as the other rating agencies. What is our regulatory status in Romania? I think there is still a little bit of work to do. The final recognition by the Romanian ASF is not given to us yet. I think a lot of involved parties do not really understand why that is, because under the EU regulation we should be accepted. And also, I think, coming back to the question, are credit ratings the key to success for Romanian financial markets? Probably would be beneficiary to have this additional option available, because if you think what makes us different, then we don't do, let's say, the approach one size fits all, and we don't penalize for size or for country ceiling. That this option at the moment is not really available for Romanian issuers, because the ASF has not yet accepted us as a rating agency for the local investor base. So we're working with the regulator on this, and we also feel that the common interest of market participants is obviously strongly increasing, and that there will be more interactions with the regulator in order to fully approve scope. What we have done, for example, in the Nordics, they're also in the market, in the SME market. We have a market share of about 80 to 90%. Why is that? Because when you ask the issuers there, they really like the way we work. They like the quality of our analysis. At a price point which is more attractive, considerably more attractive than if you would get a rating from our competitors. And once they have worked with us, they see that we have a very, say, client-driven, client-centric approach. And what is interesting, what the Nordic Central Bank says, which has accepted us as ECAI, or for the rating usage, that the price structure, the data delivery, and the quality of our ratings, is beneficial to their market and the build out to their market, which means, like I say, we have a market share up there as well between 80 and 90%, which makes us there in the SME market the largest rating agency by far. How do we interact with investors? We have a Scope 1 ecosystem, it's called, where basically our investors can, or the investors which have chosen to work with our ratings, can access all the research, all the ratings that are available. Also, we have a different charging approach than the American rating agencies. So if the issuer has paid scope to conduct a rating and to issue a rating, the investors do not have to pay for the rating usage. Okay? So it's either or. So either an investor can say, can you please rate this company for us? Or obviously the issuer can say, can you please give us a rating because we would like to provide it to our investors. The American companies charge on both sides. We only charge on one side. So if a Romanian company decides to proceed with a scope rating, all the investors can use that rating for regulatory purpose, free of charge, which we believe this is the right way to do it. This shows, again, this is how the infrastructure or the environment of investors that use our rating has grown. We have at the moment 406 active investor licenses. On the right, you see obviously the top 20 licensees, which are the very large investor, basically asset managers in this world, which have seen also a lot of value to work with our ratings. If you come to the next slide, please. This is just an excerpt of our client list, as you can see. This basically is the end of my presentation.